The biggest digital transformation challenge to CSPs this year is indeed the complexity of the ecosystem that's developing in front of them. We're going from a very consistent static model where there was a very linear model with vendors supplying to telcos and then telcos addressing their own individual customers. The complexity of this model is going to change, especially with the advent of 5G, where we move towards digital transformation and where the end customers of the telcos and the CSPs, they indeed will become the industry vertical. With that will come a big culture divide in such that they speak different languages. CSPs will need to adapt their way of working to address the needs of those different industry verticals, and indeed trust will need to be inserted into that relationship in order to build a strong, solid foundation going forward. Gemalto's vision for 5G is that it's truly a platform for digital transformation. 5G will be leveraged by service providers to collect information, to generate insights from that information, to bring it to the cloud, and to help automate people's daily lives. We've issued a white paper which is about an era of trust in 5G. So in this white paper we cover 5 different topics, the first one being data protection. We believe that as the 5G network, its goal is to be able to capture insights. Those insights will be gained from processing a lot of different data, which is collected from the billions of devices which will be connected to the 5G system. All of those insights will be then leveraged in order to improve future insights and to be able to implement predictive analytics. Those predictive analytics will ultimately trigger automated events and help us automate our daily lives. The second point that we've addressed in the white paper is to do with device lifecycle management. As IoT sensors and many different devices will be in the field for 10 to 15 years rather than our traditional smartphone, which typically lasts between 2 and 3 years, we need to make sure that we can upgrade the software in each of those devices. So device lifecycle management is extremely important going forward into the 5G system. The third point we cover in the white paper is the authentication and the authorization of devices connecting to the 5G network. We need to ensure that the devices which are connecting are authentic 5G devices which are authorized for use on the network by the cloud service provider, by the connectivity service provider, by the service provider who's ultimately collecting the data and leveraging it in order to be able to automate our daily lives. The fourth topic that we've covered in our white paper is to do with network slicing. It's extremely important that we can correctly isolate the data which is flowing in each of the network slices, which are being leveraged by the service providers on the network of the connectivity service providers. Meaning that if we have one slice for an autonomous vehicle and another one for a massive IoT sensor network, then we need to ensure that a distributed denial of service attack on the massive IoT slice wouldn't bring down a critical service like autonomous vehicles, which could potentially have human casualties or maybe even more dire consequences. In order to do that, we have established a collaboration with Intel to leverage their SGX enclave, and that enclave is used to protect the keys which are used to authenticate and to provide confidentiality and integrity protection between the virtual network functions flowing along a different network slice. Last but not least, we have software licensing. Many different software vendors will be contributing to the success of this 5G network. In order to be able to protect everybody's IP, we have software licensing technologies which are called Sentinel. The Sentinel range will help connectivity service providers and software vendors to jump into a pay-as-you-go or subscription-based model around software licensing. What that means is that rather than having upfront fees for each different software function that's acquired by a connectivity service provider, we'll have the possibility to be able to implement those much more efficient, leaner models so that the connectivity service provider is truly paying what they need to use as opposed to paying upfront for the different software functions that build up the network.